Right now at noon, we're learning more about the 14-year-old boy hit and killed while riding his bike, how his friends and family came together to honor his life.
And as we're heading into the weekend, plenty of sunshine, and that means the temperatures are going to be warming up as well. But how long will that last? I'll show you.
And we are live in Carroll County this afternoon with new developments in the Delphi murders trial. You're watching 13 News at noon.
Right now at noon, officially underway. We are following all the developments out of Carroll County on day one of the Delphi murders trial. Thanks for joining us here at noon. I'm Dustin Grove in for Karen Campbell. This morning, Richard Allen faced a jury for the first time. He's the man charged in the 2017 deaths of Abby Williams and Libby German. Opening statements began at 9 o'clock, and now we have new information straight out of the courtroom. So I want to get right out to Samantha Johnson live in Delphi. Sam, what have you learned?
Well, Dustin, we just heard from Bob, who's been inside the courtroom all morning. He was there for the opening statements earlier today. A few key quotes jump out at us already on day one of this trial. I'm going to read them to you here. The prosecutor telling the jury, quote, "You were going to see the crime scene. It was a gruesome crime scene." Prosecutor Nicholas McLeland went on to describe what that crime scene looked like, including talking about how both girls, Abby and Libby, their throats had been cut. He went on to emphasize that the state can prove Richard Allen is the bridge guy who killed Abby and Libby. He told the jury Richard Allen hid in plain sight for years. Meanwhile, Allen's attorney, Andrew Baldwin, led the opening statement for the defense this morning, saying, quote, "Allen is truly innocent. There is reasonable doubt. They argue Allen was never on the trail at the same time as the girls. So as far as what's happening right now here in Delphi, everyone went back inside the courtroom about 30 minutes ago to start testimony in this case. And of course, we know too that testimony is going to include family members. And today we saw more family members for Richard Allen than we had ever seen at a hearing before. We also saw, of course, family members of the girls, several family members for Libby German here today, including her sister Kelsey, her grandmother Becky Patty here as well. So we can tell you, of course, we're going to read over more of Bob's notes here in the next few minutes. We're going to follow up with you, Dustin, coming up again at 12:30 here on 13 News.
Did you get any indication, Sam, of Richard Allen, his demeanor in the courtroom this morning?
Well, for the first time, as far as I can remember, we saw Richard Allen come into the courtroom today. Again, he was dressed in street clothes. He had a lavender shirt on with khaki pants. But Bob tells us right before they brought the jury in today, Richard Allen bowed his head at the defense table and prayed. As far as I know, that's the first time we have seen that here in Carroll County. Of course, we're going to continue, like I said, to follow up with Bob, read over more information from opening statements this morning. We'll see you back here in about 30 minutes.
All right, Sam, we'll see you then. Thank you. And as this 5-week trial begins, we want to remind you that you can join us at 10 p.m. on WTHR Plus for our Delphi Debrief Show. Our 13 News team will be breaking down the major developments from the courtroom every Monday through Friday night. It's at 10 o'clock. You can download our free streaming app, by the way, on Apple TV, Amazon, or Fire Stick and Roku. Now, take a live look outside. On this Friday afternoon, we are expecting some clear skies for the weekend. Boy, it has been pretty chilly outside, though. Meteorologist Rob Ellis is here now. And are those temperatures going to continue for the weekend? We got a lot of football to watch.
Yeah, I know. It's going to be one of those times, you know, it's fall. So all the time when we get into fall like this, you have to dress in layers, right? Because during the daytime, it's beautiful, nice and warm and sunny. And then once the sun shuts down, I mean, it cools off pretty quickly, and the reverse in the morning, of course. And we saw that this morning. So yeah, it's going to be beautiful this weekend, but definitely dress for the time frame that you're going to be outside. Let's go ahead and start with temperatures. Look where we were this morning. 30s and 40s. It was on the chilly side this morning. And then, yes, very quickly we've seen the temperatures warm up. We've gained 20 degrees from where we were earlier in the day. We've got 50s and yes, even some 60s showing up. So these 60s are likely going to stay with us for the rest of the afternoon. I think once we get into the later half of the day, it'll feel nice and comfortable. Still have dry air. And look at this. I'll broaden the view as wide as we can go because there's nothing east of the Mississippi River. There are almost no clouds in place. There are a few down into Mississippi, but that's about it. It is quiet and it looks like it's going to stay quiet. Our forecast for the rest of the day is just watching the temperatures tick up into the upper 60s. This will be a little bit above the average. Plenty of sunshine, so we'll go with upper 60s to near 70 for your daytime high. There may be a few lucky spots that get to 70 for today, but don't worry. If you don't get there today, I've got many more chances in the 7-day forecast. You will cool down at night. Temperatures into the 40s. I'll talk about when the next rain chance arrives in our forecast, Dustin. That is coming up.
All right, we'll see you in a few. Rob, thank you. A 14-year-old boy killed in a hit and run is being remembered and honored by friends and family. Willie Rivera died last week on the far east side of Indianapolis. The driver left the scene. Now somebody has been identified and charged. We'll get to that in just a minute. But Alex Almanza shows us the special way Willie's loved ones went back to the area to remember him.
Life is precious. Amen. Let's hold it and let's value it.
A warm glow over a crowd of family members and friends. Some with smiles, laughs, others with tears and maybe a long hug to remember a life gone too soon.
It's hard, but we're maintaining.
And we're a strong family.
Fighting a good fight for Willie.
Willie was rushed to the hospital in critical condition and died just days later.
We have to figure out how to move forward.
And despite the grief and many questions on how to move forward, family like his cousin and aunt still find ways to keep their spirits high.
And he asked me, ironically, if something ever happened to him, would I be sad? And yes, Willie, we're all super, super sad.
And as his community remembers Willie for being a youthful, energetic kid,
He was a crazy spirit. He loved his family, his friends.
He volunteered and worked with his cousin for youth football for Warren.
the outpouring of love reminds them that they're not alone in their grief or their fight for justice.
I want something where people are held accountable and it's just not you're able to hit someone and walk away. That's what I want.
1, 2, 3.
That was Alex Almanza reporting. And as we told you yesterday here at noon, a man is now charged in this case. Joshua Rain is his name. He's facing one count of leaving the scene of an accident resulting in death. We just got court documents in this case. They say Rain spoke with police and said he thought he'd hit a deer. This afternoon, we're working to learn more about a crash on the city's near north side involving a motorcycle. One man died and a woman was hurt. This happened on Fall Creek Parkway. This was last night around 7 o'clock near 30th Street and College Avenue. At last check, the woman involved was in the hospital but stable. Right now, Metro Police are searching for the person who shot and killed a man on the north side. It happened yesterday afternoon near 29th and MLK. That's where police say they found a man dead in an alley. Right now, they're talking with witnesses to help them try and piece together exactly what happened. Of course, we'll be sure and let you know as soon as we learn more. Jury selection is now complete for an Indianapolis man charged with killing most of his family. Raymond Childs III is charged with 6 counts of murder. Police say back in 2021, he shot and killed his parents, his sister, his brother's girlfriend, and her baby boy, who was just days away from being born. Now, there was a mistrial in this case over the summer after something that was said during witness testimony. So opening statements in this new trial are expected to take place on Monday. The Indiana Court of Appeals has rejected a Boone County man's attempt to overturn his triple murder conviction. Chad Grimble is serving a 195-year prison sentence for killing Grace Bishop, Brandon Martin, and Larry Stogstill Jr. in 2021. Grimble claims the court violated his rights to a speedy trial and counsel. But in its ruling, the appeals court said the court acted properly in the trial, and many of the delays were due to Grimble's own actions. Now to the push to make the city safer for bicyclists and pedestrians. It's called Vision Zero, and the Vision Zero Task Force, we've learned, will be meeting about this next week. The goal here is to eliminate all pedestrian and cyclist deaths by the year 2035. They plan to meet next Wednesday to present an overview of the Vision Zero concept and then talk about the next steps they plan to take. Of course, we plan to be there and we'll let you know what happens.